Hello. I would say good morning. It is morning. I've just woken up. Just got a bit of time to get myself together before going to into the office. But I thought I'd do another video. My videos. I decided the other day to do more videos in between my weekly ones. Again, just to keep momentum going and things like that. But I was reading an article yesterday talking about this group of unemployed people in China who have paid a company for them, whereby they go into an office pretending to work. A bit of an interesting concept. It's the idea being you fill your day by being in office space, so that you have space anyway to apply for jobs or play on any side hustle venture that you have. And it's not like a WeWork or some co-working space. The idea is genuinely to give you the essence of being in the office, so that you clock in at a certain time, you clock out at a certain time, you have co-workers, so the same people come to this office doing the same thing as you. It kind of felt a bit strange, but I do remember when I wasn't working for a few years, I was doing a similar kind of thing in a way. But it was in co-working spaces. I needed to have some regular routines. I needed to have some regular company, although I didn't engage much with the people around me in the other cubicles. But the whole idea of this thing is to make it look like you have a co-working experience, a working experience, not like in a co-working space. You are working together with other people. And people pay for the experience, the privilege of being in a proper office doing this kind of thing. And it kind of tells me a few things. So firstly, it does give you some structure and some discipline. As I said, when I was working in co-working spaces, I did make more of an effort to get in there early, because I needed to get a space, actually, to get a good space within the co-working space. So I got in there fairly early. It gave me something to do during the day, so it looked like I was being productive. Whether I was being productive, I don't really know, but it gave me a sense of doing something constructively and purposefully. But also, and more so from the news article I was reading, it kind of gives you a bit more of an identity again. You know, people are very heavily anchored to a career, anchored to a job title, anchored to to doing things or being seen to be doing things. And you know, these people were dressing up also to go into this office. So I guess it's that identity thing, which, if you haven't been unemployed for a stretch of time, you might not realize how much of your identity is wrapped up in what you have been doing, and how much of it is lost when you are in a position of longer term unemployment. So it's just a thought that, you know, people are doing all sorts of things to keep their identity. I remember, again, switching to another story, I remember when I was working for myself, and it was kind of working for myself while waiting to find something corporate. So it wasn't as if I'd given up on the world of the corporate world. I was just trying to make ends meet, trying out a few things. And I went to a party during this time, and the proverbial "so what do you do" conversation was going around. And when it came to me, you know, I said, "Oh, I I'm working for myself, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And this guy, and I don't think he was intending to be patronising, but it certainly, or maybe he was, but it certainly came across as patronising. And he said, I said, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. He said, oh, good for you. And I kind of thought, oh, that's not how I wanted it to be. That's not how I wanted it to come across, and that's not how I wanted to be received. And that was quite a wake up. As in, and this memory of this guy who, again, maybe he wasn't being patronising, maybe it's just the way maybe it's my own vulnerabilities at the time. I still remember that conversation about 8, 9 years on. It was just a fleeting remark from 8, 9 years ago. And yeah, it's strange thinking about it. How this one guy made me quite aware of this concept of identity and quite aware of how people perceive maybe those people who are freelancing or contracting or just trying a few side hustles to make ends meet. And yeah, I didn't have, an office address. Again, I was doing co-working spaces or the library or home. I didn't have a flashy business card. I knocked up a business card, but it was, it was what it was. It's just a phone number and me. It was just quite weird how the world perceives those who aren't gainfully employed. So this is just a thought I had. Again, it's a challenging job environment in many parts of the world. White collar workers are getting it more than they historically have. AI, ageism, economic downturns, etc., etc. So we all need to take control of our lives. Be your plan B is all about just not being reliant on a boss, a corporation, a job title. In a way, sorting out your identity so that you can be kind of robust enough for those kind of questions, the kind of comment that I had. So these are all packaged in my philosophy, I guess, on life. Sort out your finances, sort out your career environment if you can, although it gets harder obviously when you get older because you don't dictate everything. Be prepared to have a side hustle on the side, which is a side hustle, on the side that can replace some or all of your income if need be. And next pillar, which I hadn't really thought as much about, but is becoming increasingly important, your general well-being, mental, physical, spiritual well-being. Get that locked in, and that's very important. So well, as I said, I'm going to do these videos more often compared to how I've been doing it once a week, and that's it for me. Bye bye.